The D18 Authentic, let me talk about that for a second. It's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And you might say, well, why? And my answer, I'm not trying to be cavalier, but why not? It is something we used to build, and we moved away from it. And there were some very legitimate reasons that we moved away, and there were some that probably would be difficult to say why. Why did you move away from doing it that way? But in some respects, what we used to make and what we make today are very different. Even though from across the room you wouldn't know that. And I just thought, and I'm a car buff. And one of the things I saw was, I guess it was Ford was celebrating their 100th anniversary. And they built an exact replica of the prototype of the first Ford car. And I thought, gee, if they can do that, so can we. And it wasn't easy. In fact, it was extremely difficult, probably because, first of all, no one wanted to make a mistake and do it wrong. So we had to do a lot of research. And even now, we're finding out that the research we did may or may not be exactly correct. And we're open to refining it. But also, the people that work on them are no longer here. There's no one here. In fact, our oldest employee just passed away last week. And he was there 54 years. Now, maybe, even Walter would not have worked on one of those guitars. So there was also a question of, gee, we forgot. It wasn't because we remembered, it's just because no one here remembered how to do it. It's like back in the 60s when we had to hire Mike Walworth to teach us how to put pearl on a guitar because nobody here remembered. We finally got a prototype made after 2 years of talking about it and me pushing and cajoling and Fred joining us and saying, come on, we can just do this. And then there was the question of, well, do we or don't we need the high boom? Because one of the reasons we moved away from the high boom was it has a very short shelf life. And we were finding ourselves in a situation where we weren't as judicious as we should have been about changing out the high boom. We found the Type 1, it's much more user-friendly. So the first one we made was the Type 1. And everybody said, hey, looks right, sounds good. And we felt, well, maybe we should take a look and see what would happen if we used high boom. So then we went through that whole period of re-educating ourselves in the high boom, and we made a prototype of one. That was the one. Now, whether or not that's the answer, or it's obviously part of the answer as to why the guitar sounds so good. And you might ask about the price. And there were several reasons that we picked that price. One was, we know that one of the reasons we moved away from that design was because of warranty issues. And today we don't have as many warranty problems as we used to. And the reason is the guitars have been redesigned to fix those problems before they become problems. And we said to ourselves, well, now we're going back and sort of setting ourselves up to have to deal with those problems that we got away from because we redesigned the guitar. So we should build some insurance into the price. And honestly, there is a calculation that we did that says we need to charge a little more now because we know we will be working on some of these guitars later, and we can bank that money. We actually, the auditors require us to take a reserve every year against our warranty, future potential warranty expenses. And that's part of the reason for the price. Part of it is just that it's difficult to go back and do something you forgot, and we want to do it right. And the other thing is we took a look at the used ones. And I always scratch my head. I know they sound great, and I know there's a lot of areas to them, but we're still in business, we still make the real thing. And here's a chance to buy an authentic reproduction of the real thing with a lifetime warranty. So we took a look at the used prices, and we actually thought we were about halfway. We thought, okay, we think that makes some sense. We're halfway to what a used guitar would cost. So I'm at the indie show, talking to one of our very knowledgeable dealers who was complaining about the price. And I started to say, well, we took a look at the market and we thought we had an idea of what the used ones were selling for, and we don't think it's unfair to charge half of what a used one sells for. This dealer said to me, half? I just sold one 4 weeks ago for $27,000. And I wanted to say, okay, so your point is,